Welcome into Real Deal Sports Talk. I'm your host, KP. How's everybody doing today? Everybody doing good? Middle of your week doing good? You know, today's been a long day for me. I'm not feeling too good. I got the allergies going on, the whole congested head stuff. But I missed last Wednesday's show, so I made sure I was here for y'all today. Made sure I put together a pretty good show today. You know, we're going to break down the AFC and NFC South divisions today. We have the Let's Get Real segment. We got the good, the bad, and the ugly coming up. And, you know, we got just some other sports stuff to talk about today. So, all in all, it's going to be a good show. I hope your guys' week's going good. I hope everything is going nice out there in your world. And everything's looking up for everybody. I saw this today, just, you know, strolling through sports sites, trying to put the show together. And I caught this story about Big Papi. And Alex Rodriguez, of all people, because, you know, he's now in this position of wanting to be the veteran good guy and maybe save his Hall of Fame chances some way. He's come out, he's come out and said he thinks Big Papi should have a statue at Fenway Park, and they should name a street after him. Now, of course, this is like the common fad, right? This is the new thing that ball clubs do. You either give your great players a statue, or if they win a championship, you name a street after the coach or the MVP. And, you know, everybody loves it. It's exciting. And then eventually it changes back to something else. But an honor nonetheless. So, Alex Rodriguez, big rival, Yankees for a long time, hated in Boston. He's a smart guy. He's putting together the next steps of his career. He'll still be in baseball in some way. It could be announcing. It could be, doing some kind of Fox Sports something, ESPN something. He could go into coaching. He'll be involved in baseball. Based on all reports, that's what he loves to do the most. And if you love to do something, you might as well be doing it, right? I agree with that. I see that. I understand that. It's a little weird to me that he's paying homage to Big Papi in this way, but so be it. You know, he's going to do his thing and get his name out there, even though he's not on a team or doing anything right now with the game. And we're talking about it. At the same time, I kind of thought, you know, that's kind of cool. These are two guys that have had their issues, who have had their words, who have had their battles in their series in baseball, and why not pay respect? Game recognizes game, so go ahead and do it. Then I kept scrolling, and I come across another story about Big Papi. I don't know if you guys saw this. I would love to have this. I wish I had enough Legos to do something like this. But Lego went ahead and made a life-size Big Papi out of Legos. If you haven't seen it, go check that out on your Googleator. Check it out on your Bing, your Yahoo, whatever search engine you use. Go check that out and see it. It's very cool. It's awesome. I wish Legos weren't so expensive because, honestly, it's a great hobby. It's a great stress reliever. It's fun to build stuff and be able to take it apart. It's, you know, who cares if it's looked at as like some kid's thing? Legos are fun, and they're pretty cool. So, whatever. Some of the sets are nice, too. I don't personally have any of them. You know, I admire from afar, I guess. But it's a very cool statue. In fact, it's a better statue than if they erect one at Fenway Park, in my opinion. Because that one you get to take home. It's very personal. It's you. It's a giant figure of you at your house made of Legos. Maybe it doesn't last as long as the one as the park. You know, the fans don't get to honor you as much because you have it, whatever. Still, very cool. Very cool. So, okay. So, they announced the cast for the 20-some-odd seasons of Dancing with the Stars this week. So, it must be on twice a year or something, because I know that show hasn't been around for the last 20 years. But this year, or this season, however they do it, the athletes that will be performing, we got Calvin Johnson, Okay, Calvin, you never danced in the end zone. I don't know if you can do that. Maybe now that you're retired, your wife has asked you, or you're doing this for some kind of anniversary or something. Excuse me. And so that's interesting. We're getting mixed reviews out of the Lions camp about what's going to happen with Calvin Johnson on Dancing with the Stars. 6'5", lean. Seems like he'd be good at ballroom dancing. But he's also going to be a giant out there with some of those teeny tiny women. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out. It's going to make me watch. I will definitely be tuning in to, pay attention. I watched last season why Von Miller was on, and we talked about that a little bit on the show. So I'll tune in and watch the athletes. Calvin, one of them. We got everybody's favorite exaggerator. I'm not going to call him a liar. I'm going to call him an exaggerator because there's two sides of the story, and right now everybody's being fed one. And if you choose to believe the one side and feel passionately about that, great. That's you. Do you. I like to try and look at the whole situation and not dismiss anybody's actions. But we have the exaggerator, Ryan Lochte. Will be on Dancing with the Stars this season also. We'll see what his first performance looks like, how many boos and cheers he gets. Could be some controversy just with him being on the show. I know for a fact my mother-in-law, she will not be watching this season of Dancing with the Stars for the first time. She's watched every season, I'm pretty sure, because he's on it. So they could lose some people that way. But it seems like they're also, in turn, going to gain a lot of people who could watch it for the first time because he's on, who could watch it because they want to see him fail, who could watch it because fill in the blank, right? So you're looking at it and go, okay, you make your personal choice. Is he the arrogant piece of SOB that embarrassed the United States and disrespected everything and it was a one-sided situation? Or is all that true and there was something else going on? And will you watch the show? Again, I'll be tuning in. And the third athlete is Miss Hernandez, the women gymnast. She will be joining the cast also. And out of the three athletes, she probably should go the furthest with her dance routines that she does on the floor, right? The floor routine has some dance element to it, mostly tumbling, but it's got some dance element to it. There's been gymnasts on the show before, and they've done quite well. So, those are just three of the contestants. I don't know how many there are, 20 or 30 of these people that get together and do this. Vanilla Ice is going to do it, Babyface, Rick Perry, people like that. So check it out this season, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about how the athletes are doing, what they look like, what week they went out, and when they're all out, we'll stop talking about it. What else is going on? Oh, did you guys see this one? Les Miles. So LSU, which we'll talk about this on Saturday morning with Chris, also from the dirtcannon.com, because he's a big LSU fan. But Les Miles and LSU will be playing Wisconsin this week at Lambeau Field. And Les Miles has said if any of his LSU players decide to take a Lambeau leap, they better plan on getting a ride home. Now that's hysterical to me, because a lot of these guys might not get an opportunity to ever play in Lambeau Field. And granted, LSU does put a lot of guys in the league. They're one of those programs over the last 10 years or so that's really done a good job at taking guys to the next level. But not all of them make it. Now, if you have some random defensive lineman or linebacker or special teams guy who manages to make some great play and gets in the end zone, it could be a lifelong dream to do something like that. And, he probably isn't going to, make the bus take off and leave the guy sitting there in Wisconsin. His point is, don't be ridiculous. This is a college game. This isn't your home stadium. Be respectful, play by the rules, and focus on the game, and not the venue, is the point I'm guessing he's trying to make. Not that, he's going to legitimately like I said, drive off and leave them there. But still, I know if I would have had a chance, it's still on my bucket list now to be able to go to a game at Lambeau Field. If I got to play on Lambeau Field, right? Think about that. Imagine that. If you're a true football fan, put yourself in that situation. Right? It's one of the most historic fields, historic places in the league. It's the oldest stadium still in the league right now that hasn't really been changed much. After the big change to Soldier Field in Chicago, where it stopped looking like a coliseum and more like a modern-day venue. And yeah, they've made improvements to Lambeau Field. It's not the same original construction still. But it still has that old football field feel to it. And I like that. I like the history there. And, you know, had I made it that far and gotten a chance to play and scored, even if it wasn't my team, even if I wasn't a Packer, I would have tried to do the leap. And I would have expected nothing less from a Packers fan than to push me out of the stands and reject me. And I would have loved every minute of it. So, you know, when I read that, I was like, he's going to leave him there. Yeah, right. Les Miles. That'd be a huge controversy. Les Miles in LSU leaves player in Wisconsin for scoring a touchdown and celebrating. Not going to happen. Good story to talk about. More from the point of view of how would you do it, right? Would you do that? On either side, would you be the coach to say that and follow through? Or would you be the player who would be like, I got to do this. I got to jump and make the leap. I might not ever get this chance again. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see if anybody tries to cross-coach there at LSU. All right, what do we got? So we're going to have weekly segments getting ready to start with the dirtcannon.com. We've kind of kicked it off with the college football last week. Chris will be joining us weekly on Saturday mornings, talk about college football, give you some stats and some know-how. So that'll be great. And starting next week on Wednesday nights, we'll have Jeremy in from the dirtcannon.com, and we'll go over NFL fantasy news and various topics surrounding your lineups, who you should play, who you shouldn't play, top performers at different positions, all that good stuff that you fantasy guys like. We'll talk about the daily leagues, we'll talk about the season-long leagues, we'll mix it up, and we'll get you guys the information that you need to know. And that'll really kick off this week, Saturday morning with Chris and Wednesday night with Jeremy. And one last announcement before we go to break here is don't forget, this Sunday is Real Deal Sports Talk's fantasy football draft on NFL.com. You have until Friday to sign up if you are interested. After Friday, I will close down registration, and the teams that are in will be in, and the teams that were looking to get in, too bad for you. Just being real. You got till Friday. We've been promoting it now on the show for about 2 weeks. The information's out there on our Facebook page. It's out there on Twitter. It's out there in various Google communities and, you know, different places around the world. I got a team competing in the event. One's in New York and the other co-owner is in China. So, you know, we got people all over the world. I appreciate all my listeners. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate you guys tuning in. When we come back from the break, on the other side, we'll have the good, the bad. Hey guys, the NFL season is almost here, and you know what that means.